Alrighty, we are live again, boys. Nothing like being live, right? Adds a little bit energy to the show, especially Thanksgiving week. A lot to be thankful for. Guys, we are on the hunt for 1,500 subscribers. I've been doing a awful job at doing this call to action. Do us a favor. That subscribe button, hit that like button. You know the deal. You know it helps. If it seems like the red corner has been all over this today and this week, it's because we have been, right? So, boys, we were just over in Camden. What was that facility, Bones?
I have no idea.
We don't know. We'll follow up. That's not important, but it was a recreation center in Camden, New Jersey, and we were in partnership with the Jaws Youth Playbook, which is essentially the Ron Jaworski Foundation. So shout out to that foundation. This is back-to-back years that the Red Riders and the Red Corner teamed up with raising turkeys, donating turkeys. And we're going to give a special shout-out to Trish. Trish is the executive director of this foundation, and they do an incredible job. You walk into these, gymnasiums, and it's a real operation going on, isn't it, boys?
Yo, absolutely. Absolutely. It was, like I said, it's a tradition that we're starting. We had the youth with us, thanks to Bones. There was other children there. So it's nice. It's honestly, it's a generational thing. If you do it with your children will continue to do, if not the same exact thing, 10, 20, 30 years later, they'll be for sure have some kind of tradition for their own.
100%.
Queen said is something. Keep it good. Keep it up.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I was telling the kids we were going there today, and they were all excited. They remembered everything from last year about it. So they were pretty excited about going over there and helping the less fortunate. So
absolutely. And I was doing a little research into this foundation. It looks like they've raised like $10 million over the years for, and these are in our backyard communities, guys. So they do an incredible job. Best in class stuff. So we will be doing this every year. And again, thank you for all the Red Riders that donated money, turkeys, everything. So, gentlemen, Thanksgiving is that, right? It's the time for thanks. So because of that theme, you saw Slim all over our socials. We're doing the entire episode. We're doing giveaways and we're doing mailbag. So we're answering your questions and we're doing giveaways back to back. Gentlemen, do you have your little opening icebreakers today, or we just want to jump right on in?
Yo, I got a quick one because I was watching a movie again, and I just wonder because this actually threw me off a little bit. Yeah. I was watching Apollo 13. What year did Apollo 13 happen in? Any idea? Apollo 13.
Was it 85?
1970, over 55 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought great movie. It was the old. My theme for today is. Oh, I'm gonna butcher the line now. What's the line when they're designing?
One small step for mankind.
No, failure is not an option. So Dave Dombrowski and John Middleton, failure is not an option. That is the theme for this episode.
I love
we might be on plan C, D, E, or F, but failure's not an option.
Love it.
I got nothing today. We had a busy week. I was busy with work.
That's completely fine. We have a busy, and speaking of busy, before we get going here, I want to do a quick speed round to you guys. So we're going to do a Thanksgiving speed round for Slim and Bones here.
Ooh.
Then we're going to give 5 giveaways. Count it. 5 giveaways in between doing your submitted questions. So let's start with the speed round. Boys, this is the format we're going to follow. We're going to go Bones and Slim, back and forth. And don't think about it too much. These aren't tough questions. Number 1, Bones, turkey or ham?
Ham.
Turkey.
Your favorite Thanksgiving side?
Stuffing.
What time do you crack open your first beer on Thanksgiving?
8:30 a.m.
Oh, damn.
For the football game, man.
Okay.
1 o'clock.
Okay. A little bit more responsible. All right. Your favorite type of pie?
I'll have to give. I have another answer, and that's for Red Rider Whitey. He knows what I'm talking about.
Gotcha.
But apple pie.
Apple pie. What do you got, Bones? I mean,
Uh,
Slim.
you know what? I like a nice cherry pie. I like a nice cherry pie.
Really? Is that
Classic
just the
cherry
first?
pie.
That's just the first pie that you thought of, or do you actually really like cherry pie? Be honest.
Love cherry pie and Boston cream pie.
Oh, that's a good one. All right. So now that we got rid of that little speed round there, boys, chat, we see you. Jerry came in with an early comment, and then we got a
Nice.
nice little belated happy birthday to us in the chat. So, guys, throughout this
Thank you.
episode, we're going to
Thank
be
you.
monitoring the chat, and we'll throw up some questions at the end. Boys, what do you say we start talking some Phillies baseball here?
Let's bring it.
Let's get to our first question here. Here we go. And we're going to do something a little different. We're going to be throwing it up on the screens today. So, at what date would you boys start getting nervous if the Phillies haven't signed Schwarber? Let's start with you on this one, Slim.
I'll tell you what, I don't think there's really – it would have to be post-Christmas going into January. The reason I say that is the more information we're finding out about Schwarber and what this market's looking like, it looks like they're going to take it to the bell, right? It looks like there's multiple suitors, like I was trying to say last week. Boston's going to be in. There's more than 2-3 teams who are interested in Kyle Schwarber. And the way it's looking like is there's multiple ways to skin this pig too, because early on I said $180 million, right, for 5 years, being tongue in cheek. That would be $36 million a year. I thought that was on the high end, but now we're seeing them get creative. They're not going to get creative in the AAV in the short window. They might try to stretch that window out at a lower AAV. So 21 million, 7 years is the new, I would say, where his agent is kind of throwing that number out there or trying to, that's kind of the piece I'm seeing. What do you guys think? So that because of that reason, I'm not scared. I just know it's going to be a long negotiation.
I would say Christmas.
Christmas.
If he's not signed by Christmas, because we got after next week they got the winter meetings down in Orlando. They should get a lot of work done there, and they'll be talking to other free agents and stuff like that. But they keep on saying he's priority. But if Christmas comes around and he's not signed yet, I think it's a problem.
Yeah, that's the Christmas date's been getting thrown out there a lot. I think it's just, it's more symbolic than an actual date that matters, right? But to be honest, I think we'd be surprised if, for the Phillies' sake, because as we've mentioned this all offseason, that's the first chip that needs to fall for them. We can then figure out the rest of our strategy. So the sooner that falls, the sooner we can do the rest of our other, plugging and playing.
Yeah, I don't think this is going to go into like Bryce Harper, Manny Machado territory where late February where spring training's already started and these big guys aren't signed yet.
Right. And Slim, you and I were talking a little bit offline about this. Kyle Schwarber has a pretty damn good agent, right? He's the same agent that had Ryan Howard. I know the guys on the Phillies show were talking about this earlier today, and they really highlighted this, so shout out to them on that. So this agent's more of a under-the-radar guy, but he's had some really big dogs. Ryan Howard, he's had Freddie Freeman, Clayton Kershaw. So, he's had some real A players, and he's a hell of a negotiator, right? The story that he gave was during arbitration for Ryan Howard, he got Ryan Howard during arbitration back then, $10 million, which basically it was a historic number, and he completely changed the way arbitrations were handled after that because he went in there and just was a dog in that arbitration. So that's going to be a problem for us.
And this is kind of what happened. And this is what at the Phillies, this is why I say, hey, you sign these guys before it gets to this point. All right, didn't happen. A lot of times they get to that last year, they're going to play that last year out. But the big point is now you gave his agent the flexibility to make the first move. And of course, he takes the ball and he moves it all the way down to whatever, 200 million, whatever. We have multiple teams, so we know it's going to take a while. The Phillies got to get comfortable with spending, I think, that kind of money over the long term and maybe having to eat it if he ends up not panning out. My point being, when it comes to the date, I'm not saying we're beholden to any date because I think we're at the end of the day, we're going to be willing to match a big number.
Right. But the moral of the story is the longer you wait, the more you're kind of like scratching your head, right? Because that's at a certain point, you know there's going to be suitors. So they're lengthening the process to try to just get the money up and up and up and up, right? So that's what they're doing.
Yeah, it's going to get there.
All right, let's keep it moving here.
Hold on one thing.
Yeah, hit us.
You mentioned he was Freddie Freeman's agent, correct? Is that the same guy Freddie Freeman fired after he signed a deal with LA?
We can fact check that. I'm not sure about those details.
Because he got apparently there was money offered by Atlanta and his agent didn't give him the details of it, and he would have stayed in Atlanta for that money. But the agent chased the bag and kind of didn't put that out there or give Atlanta the chance.
Yeah, that's good context. We'll follow up next episode with that because that's obviously important. And Jay in the chat saying the longer we wait, the longer we're handcuffed and could miss out on other free agents. 100%, brother. Yeah, that's the point here. So we want to get that tied up quick.
I think we just got to match whatever comes in. So we're kind of, Middleton can start coping now because his fish is out there getting the offer, going to come back, and we're going to have to match it. It's worst case scenario for us. They kind of messed up the negotiation somehow here, I would say, from not being faster and firmer with all this date and number stuff.
Right. And then I think Todd Zalecki reported that they're not close right now, right?
Yeah.
So that's not great. All right, let's go to the next question that you guys submitted. And that was from Jimmy on Twitter. So thank you, Jimmy. Let's go to the next question here. We have where you got here? We have.
I'm in denial with Schwarber. I feel like if we lose him, I don't know what. I mean, being in C, we can talk about it, but I have yet to visualize it as a Phillies fan. That's for sure.
I'm with you. Yeah, it's almost. I don't see a scenario where he doesn't come back.
Right.
It would be one of the biggest shocking moments in Phillies. I'm not trying to get crazy here. Phillies history, that'd be nuts. But as far as free agents walking, it'd be one of the most shocking for sure. Based on the recent Ketel Marte rumors, would you include Andrew Painter in a deal for him? Bones, we'll start with you on this, but I'll give a little background. So there were some credible reports that both the Blue Jays and the Phillies checked in with the Diamondbacks on their star second baseman Marte. Bones, take the floor.
No, and I think I kind of touched on this at the end of the season and the beginning of this hot stove where I don't want Ketel Marte because reports out of Arizona is there's times where he doesn't play hard and dates back to All-Star game, right before the All-Star game, stuff like that, where he took days off because he didn't feel like playing, but then played in the All-Star game.
Where are you on that, on Slim? So so Bones, you're most concerned with his potential work ethic. He's got a little injury stuff going on. He's not a phenomenal defender, so he's probably going to have to fade off that position. Outside of that, I mean, he's a stud. But where are you at on that, Slim?
See, I would say he would be fine at second base. I'm fine with Marte at second base. I think he's the type of player, if we get him, he swings the whole bravado of the locker room, right? Because the things that Bones don't, maybe he did get stale somewhere, but he's on a good deal. He's, I would say, a great two-way player. I think he's great offensively.
He's not a great defender. But I wasn't saying that he wouldn't play defense second base this year. I'm saying maybe down the line, 3-4 years.
Okay, but even so, his bat, especially having Stott at second base with his bat, Marte would come in and he would maybe be our best player. He would at least be in the conversation, and he brings a lot of attributes that a lot of people want to see in that Phillies locker room. They think the Phillies locker room gets a little stale, right?
Yeah.
So it changes everything up. Now, when it comes to Andrew Painter, there's two things with Painter. Did he regress last year due to the Tommy John stuff, right? And he'll be back this year fine? Or was that regression really moving the needle on who he is as a prospect. If you listen to the people that cover the Phillies prospects and such, and all these consensus reporters, it seems like Painter went down a notch. Surgery or not, they know the history, so they still consider it. They're moving him down a notch or moving Miller up a notch. So with that being said, I would 100% include Painter for Marte in a deal, and I want to think about it. And I would see if there's other things being included, and I would go from there. I would actually try to get off of Crawford and not get off Painter, but I would try to lump maybe Crawford in there too and get more return, see what's happening. That would be my deal. Painter, Crawford for Marte, and something else from them.
All right, so I'm not in full shame somebody if they have that opinion, so I'm not going to knock you on that, Slim. But this is what I will say. So Marte, look, number one, he's a switch hitter, and he's more powerful on the right-handed side. So we got that right-handed bat. So love that. All the things that you already said, Slim, right? He's obviously a hell of a player. He look no further than what he did to us in the playoffs, right? He crushed us, and he was phenomenal the whole postseason run for them. Every single time I felt like that postseason where there was a big at-bat for him to come through, he was coming through. He was that guy for the Diamondbacks that year. Now, in the chat, people are referencing, we got Shane in the chat saying that Marte had a lot of issues last year, even outside of the injury.
What are the issues? He had a couple comments?
There must be an echo in here. Thanks, Shane.
Yeah.
I know, but you guys said issues.
Are we referencing the disrespectful comments that people made about his mother, I believe, right?
No, it's where he just took days off because he felt like it and then went on to play in the All-Star game.
It sounds like it's small to nothing to me. Sounds like it's absolutely.
No, it's a big issue, and they were trying to move him.
Sounds
at
like
the deadline.
It sounds like whatever it is character defamation because it doesn't sound like nothing. The only thing I've heard was his mother got insulted and he took 2 days off.
No, that was different. There was other stuff
two different issues.
That. Yeah.
Well,
Yup.
Doesn't seem like it's anything too tight. And the Andrew Painter
wasn't this
stuff.
year. It was other years too.
So there's a little bit of an off-field dynamic with him. I got you. So my official stance is I would not include Painter in that package. I think where I'm at right now is I would go Stott and a top 5 prospect, a non-Painter top 5 prospect, and then honestly, if I'm really getting my arm twisted, I would throw another 10 to 15 guy in there because I really do think, as Slim you said, his contract is very attractive, relatively speaking, and he's a good player. He's a really good player, right? So let's not try to just fake it there. He is. And then another good comment in the chat before we move on to the second question. Next question is Marte. This is from Jay. Citizens Bank Park, short right field would be a match made in heaven. Would have had 21 homers to right field alone at CBP last year. Yeah, I think his power is more to on the right-handed side there, though. But obviously, it would go both ways. What do you say we do a raffle here, boys? Let's get the first raffle going.
Let's do the first raffle.
What do we want to do first?
Let's
start small and let's do a build-up. Start small and do a build-up. So let's move this here. Let's get this going. So we're going to start off with this dual decal Phillies koozie with the nice Fanatic NL East champions. Slim, the floor is yours.
All right. Our first winner tonight. And this guy or this page goes by Dill, D-I-L-L, Oise, O-N-S-E-S-E. And then underneath it says Sean. So Sean will be reaching out. Congratulations. You're the first winner of the raffle tonight. All right. We'll be reaching out. This is Sean. Dill Ease is his Instagram.
Congrats, Sean. So we'll reach out, like Slim said, and we'll ship this over to you. All right, first winner of the evening. We got 4 more where that came from, boys. All right, before we transition here to our next actual submitted question, Slim, you and I were laughing about this the other day, so I figured I'd bring this up on the podcast. And I'm going to call this little occasional segment called Podcaster Problems.
Okay.
So every once in a while, boys, whether we want to admit it or not, I don't know if we've ever considered ourselves podcasters, but we are, right? We've been doing a podcast for a very long time now. So when you're in this podcasting community, we're always talking about the podcast, right? And then because of that, there's a lot of inside jokes that, you're talking about. It's like CrossFit. You're always talking about it. But what are some funny things that happen? Boys, I want to see out of these two which you enjoy the most. So number one, when the person suggests a segment to us that we've been doing for several months. That's number one. So we'll have people that come up to us and say, oh, you guys, so namely, and again, they're being nice, they mean well, but they're basically, showing their what, but not watching the show. So we had a guy come up to us one time, a close friend, and said, yo, you guys should do this segment where Slim makes gambling picks, and we should call it like Slim's Picks or Slim Pick'ems. And I was like, oh, like the thing we've been doing for 5 months?
Yeah.
That's number one.
Yeah, at this point, I can't tell who's telling me the truth and who's not telling me the truth sometimes when they say they watch it, especially with the suggestions.
Right.
I think someone would probably maybe watching it here and there. I had no idea what's going on. Especially, I know as soon as you said that, I know exactly who you're talking about.
Yeah. And by the way, we appreciate everyone who watches anytime, but it's just funny things that pop up. Here's the second thing, and then we'll move back to
people like the name. People like the name. I know that. People like the name.
They do. So the second thing is when people ask us to do stuff directly during our scheduled podcast, when during the season, we do it every single Sunday at 8 p.m. during the Philly season, every single week. And it's my favorite thing where we're about to go live and someone will reach out and ask us to do something or ask us to as a question about it. Don't you guys see that all the time, boys?
Oh, yeah. There's no doubt about it. But to our kudos, we got to be Mr. Consistent. We always have to be on the same exact days. Sometimes it's unbelievably hard to do something for months in a row. Same hour, same day. Think about it like, it's like it's a job. I hate to say it, but it's a job. That
that person's called my wife.
I didn't know where to go. I couldn't talk about my wife, so I started talking about something else.
All right, so Jerry asked a nice question in the chat here, so let's throw this up here because now we can do this, which I really like. Yeah, we're up in our game, boys.
Oh wow, check this out.
Check this out. So Jerry in the chat, one of the strongest Red Riders, said, would you rather sign Schwarber for a ridiculous amount of money or sign Suarez and Realmuto and some much-needed outfield help? And damn, that's a lot of stuff there, Jerry. And why or why not? I'll let you start with that, Bones.
Hold on, let me get my my book reader out here. I would rather go with Schwarber because I think Suarez is still going to command a lot of money. He's probably going to more years, so I don't think Schwarber's money is really going to be much higher than Suarez's money. And I don't know if there's anybody out there in the bullpen or outfield help that can really move that needle with the amount of money, like the smaller amount of money that is left over in that.
Okay. Slim.
Yeah, so we were thinking that we were ending up spending $300 and something million right this offseason. I rather have. See, what messes me up is that everyone is this. They're acting like we can't get Schwarber and Realmuto together now. They're the two guys.
You've been saying that?
I've been seeing rumors of that. There's no doubt about it. I think they're the two guys we got to get, and then we got to make maybe another bigger splash. So I would say no. I'd rather sign Schwarber for a ridiculous amount of money, and then maybe try to get Realmuto, and if not Realmuto, try to make another splash, maybe for some pitching help.
Okay. Yeah, there's the Realmuto to the Red Sox rumor out there.
I saw that. It's like you get off work and then you get hit with a Remuto like update, and it's like, what is happening, man? Like it shouldn't be like this.
I know. All right, let's go back to the next question here. Here we go. It's back to Thanksgiving. What is the most overrated Thanksgiving meal item? What do you got for us, Bones?
Well, I'm going to go with cream corn since I don't eat it.
Yeah.
So that's got to be the most overrated thing, right?
Yeah, well, that
For
might be
you,
a lot of
it's
people
your
who don't
answer.
like it. The truth is, this is the truth. It's stuffing again, right?
Ooh.
Because for me, I love the stovetop stuffing, right? Like that box stuffing. I love that. I've had some people make fantastic stuff and they put sausage in it, but then other times you taste it and it's legit, just like it tastes like wet bread, like what it is. And it's like, what happened here? You know?
Right.
So for me, I love it, but sometimes stuffing's the worst, and you always have to eat it. That's the thing. Because if not, like, because wherever you're at, there's the stuffing's always a signature, at any household. So it literally goes house to house to house.
Burnt stuffing is awesome. Can't get nothing better than that.
So when I saw this question, you guys agree that we have to kind of keep it to the main characters, right? Like there's some of the side items like the string bean casserole and stuff like that. Like that would be my personal pick, but I also feel like that's a little bit of a fringe item. So of the big dogs, right? The mashed potatoes, the corn, the stuffing, I would say I agree with Slim that stuffing is by the way, I like stuffing a lot. I'm a big Thanksgiving meal guy in general. I love people like to hate on turkey. I'm a turkey guy. Love turkey. But personally, I think I agree with Slim stuffing. Not that I don't like it. I do.
Do we have an MVP? What's the MVP of the meal coming? Hopefully.
We don't. I'll start. I'm a mashed potatoes boy.
Yeah, it has to be the mashed potatoes. It doesn't matter if you're 5 years old or if you're 95 years old. The mashed potatoes always get it done.
Yeah.
I can have mashed potatoes like all the time, but I only have cranberry sauce once a year.
Oh. So you got
a
cranberry and because Shane in the chat was giving some cranberry love. So you're a cranberry sauce as the MVP guy.
Yeah, or sweet potatoes.
Okay.
With some butter on there and the brown sugar and the little jelly. Oh man. Now you're talking my guilty pleasures here.
Your love language.
Yeah, the sweet potatoes are good. Sweet potatoes are good. They are a good one.
Okay, so let's move on to the next question. So Shane in the chat saying he's actually anti-cranberry. All right, I actually love cranberry sauce. All right, so next question here. This is a fun one. This is from Michael Y via IG. So there's 3 available roster spots on the Phillies roster. Devo, Bones, and Slim get the call up. What 3 positions are you boys filling in? So before you guys answer, and I'll start with you on this one, Slim. I think the spirit of this question is basically in the confines of this Phillies roster, how we could be most helpful. That's the way I'm looking at that. Is that how you're looking at this?
How
are you looking at this?
I'm looking at it as 3 spot, like, what are our positions?
What are our positions? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's fine. So just a creative way of asking that. All right, well then.
We don't have to all get called up at the same time. It's just that's the way I looked at it.
We'll follow up with Michael Y on that one because I would think he was trying to get a little bit more specific to the team, but
we can do both.
What's your answer, Lem?
Me, first base and right field. First base and right field.
Okay.
I'll take Alec Bone's spot. Third base.
I guess I'll take either Harrison Bader's spot in center or Bryson Stott's spot at second because I can't compete with Trey anymore. So I'll do second or center. That would be my position. Bones, you're a relief pitcher too.
Yeah, I certainly wasn't a starter 2 years ago in Cooperstown.
Yo, you're an innings eater though. We needed those innings.
Yeah. Felt like Jamie Moore out there throwing up 50-mile-an-hour fastballs.
You're adorable too. We'll have to show the Red Riders those pictures of your.
You hit a shot, man.
He did. He did hit a bomb. All right, what do you say we do our next raffle, boys?
Ooh,
I had a couple good hits off the hat that day.
You did.
let's see what we got. Let's see what we got. Next raffle. Next raffle.
Let me
All right. All right. Next raffle is going to go to
JT Realmuto, mini
ooh,
pop.
Crystal Chadwick. Crystal Chadwick. I think it was an Instagram one.
All right, shout out to you, Crystal. You have won the JT Realmuto mini bobblehead.
Let me say that's a signature win, Crystal.
That's signature, and that's a ballpark exclusive. So that's
Is that a goatee, JT Bermudo?
it
Or
is.
that- yeah.
Good eye.
Wow.
Good
You
eye.
got the goatee, JT.
Goatee JT.
That might be a shirt for us.
Goatee JT. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And speaking of shirts for us, the redcornerpod.com, folks, check out our website. We have a bunch of cool merch. You can get hats like this, like Bones has, like this. Support us because it helps us do this podcast. Gentlemen, I was actually, before we transitioned, I was going to make a comment on the fact that I'm not going to be able to give Bones too much slack today about the dog barking because I thought my house was going to be the Philadelphia Zoo today. Because I'm watching a friend of my wife's dog, a little Shih Tzu that doesn't shut up, little yapper, and then we just got a new dog, a new little beagle. I'll bring a picture up on. Yeah, did you? Yeah, I don't know if we talked about this, Slim. I just got a new.
No, you got a beagle.
Yeah, he's cute as hell, but he's a maniac.
Did you see? Yeah. I had a Slim walks about a beagle, right? My mother has a beagle, and it's been a challenge. It's like my fifth dog with me and my mom, I guess, or whatever. And the beagles are rough, man. There's nothing there with these beagles.
They're very food motivated and they're just psychos. Like I was joking. Look, folks, beware of all these adoption descriptions because they'll say everything about them being cute and lovable. They don't say they're crazy and they don't shut up. Every time you walk in, it's jumps up on me. This guy's
How old is it?
1 o'clock. 1 o'clock. It's 1 years old. Yeah, 1 year old.
We do this podcast so late.
Dude, I swear these things know like when we're live. Last couple of weeks we haven't went live. I thought they were fine. Today we're live and within 2 minutes they were going nuts.
They're nuts. Yeah.
They're probably excited you're home this late and that you're downstairs.
True. Yeah, so I got 3 crazy dogs in my house right now. So far, no barking, so I've been lucky. Before we go to the next question, we got Jay in the chat saying his grandma makes great gravy, and that's the king. Gravy goes on everything, turkey, mashed stuffing. Shout out to you, Jay. That's a pro comment by you, brother. Jay, welcome to the chat, man. I don't know if I recognize you. Do you guys know Jay?
I don't bring the chat up anymore because I was getting lost in the chat and not following our own show.
Oh, that's true. So yeah, let's
Well,
welcome,
that's a new one for me.
So yeah, welcome, Jay. Welcome aboard. Let's go to our next question here. So we have this is a long one. This is for you, Slimbo. So Slim, this is a 2-parter. Does the Mets making a move put pressure on the Phils to do so as well? Ooh. Second part, the Mets moved a core player to address a weakness. Did the Phils have to do the same? Very good question, Miguel. It's Miguel via Instagram.
So I would say yes, because I'm just doing the head-to-head comparison. I'd rather have Simeon than Stott, okay? Declining, offense decline, bat speed decline. Simeon has shown, like you said, he has pop. So I would be all in on Simeon, especially in the short term. He, he's getting paid a decent chunk of change, but it's a shorter contract compared to Nemo's contract, which they gave up. Now, let me read question number 2. The Mets move a core player to address a weakness. Do the Phillies have to do the same? A core player. I don't think we have any core players to move at this point. So I would say.
Well, you could say Bohm or Stott are core players.
Yeah, then I would say, man, I I think they want to get a big time player this offseason. It has to probably be with one of the minor leaguers that's coming up, and then include a Stott or a Bohm. All right. So I do think a Stott or a Bohm. So if you can do a Bohm and one of those, yeah, Bohm would be the guy, I guess, then at that point. Bohm's the one who I think has the most standalone value of the guys who's on the club now, if you're comparing them to Stott, Marsh, and these guys that we were talking about previously.
Yeah, man. So I'm actually glad you mentioned that point, because what we were talking a lot lately, Slim, is basically the theme of the Phils was looking like they were not trying to offload a lot of prospects, given that they've done that the past couple of years, thinking of Taid and Starling Kaba, right? Those big prospects that we've offloaded the past couple of years. But now you're looking at this fact that they're tapping into Ketel Marte. You know that they know it's going to cost a top 10 prospect. Like, there's no way around that.
Yep. And I'm hell bent on this off the mid-season being the market where you get the deals done. You know, especially value-wise.
Right. We got a funny question in the chat from Tim here, and this is actually very interesting. So you eat a hot dog, chug a beer, and run a 40-yard dash. Who gets the fastest time of youth rate? So obviously the factor here is the beer, right? Which you two are a big advantage over me. I got the speed on you. I think it might be Bones.
Yeah, I think depending how I'm feeling that day, if I get that hot dog down, I think I get this.
How much of a better a chugger are you than Bones?
It's probably buying me a second and a half.
Do you agree with that, Bones?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know, a second and a half. That's a long time. But it's close. I would give the nod to Chris on this one.
Well, the crazy thing would be who would win the second go around, because I would be less likely to win a second time, regardless.
So here's the thing.
I can probably get a 40 down once and then be out of breath for the day.
I think the biggest factor. Okay, Bones, you go.
Do we have to finish the like, say we eat a hot dog? Can I start chugging a beer, or do I got to finish the hot dog before I start chugging the beer?
So the way I was thinking about it was all of it has to be complete by the time you're crossing the finish line. That was in my mind. What are you guys thinking?
I was thinking hot dog, beer, 40.
Right. That's exactly what I was thinking too. Eat a hot dog, chug a beer, and then run it. So I'm eating a hot dog just as fast as you guys. I got no problem with that. The beer, how much faster are you guys? You're definitely a lot faster than me in the chug. The question is it a second? Because a 40, if either of you if you got 10 yards on me, I'm still going to catch up and win that. But that's not a lot of time. So I think Slim might get it.
Yeah, I think so too. And I'm not going to get into the deep handicapping of it, but the numbers show that me and Bones have an advantage eating a hot dog too.
The numbers show.
If all three of us are just going to eat a hot dog for speed, a glizzy for speed, me and Bones will still be the favorites in that situation. So we're probably a little bit faster at eating a hot dog than you do. So we got to add on that.
Why are you faster than me eating a hot dog? Just because you're a bigger dog?
Yeah, I think we eat faster. You know, honestly, you're taking your time. I don't stop stuff in my face until Well,
I'm going to be eating hot dog as fast as I can because it's a competition.
There's no. If we were going to just eat a hot dog, me and Bones would be favorite over you speed wise, and I think you would have to.
I agree with that.
I agree with that. Yeah, that's all.
So, if I can chug my beer, why? Like, I'm not done that hot dog yet.
Yeah.
I think I can gain an advantage because I don't think Chris can chew and run at the same time.
Yeah.
And I also wonder, how many yards, if we all ran at the same time, where would everyone be? That matters too. So, because it's not going to be that drastic. It's only 40 yards, right?
They had the line marker. Your toes are at the line marker. You eat a hot dog, you chug the beer, they blow the whistle.
Oh, why don't we do this? We'll do this.
Yeah, we can do this.
Yeah, we'll do this. Thanks, Tim. That's a great content idea. We're gonna do this.
Yeah,
So,
thanks, Tim. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no. To be clear, I think one of you two would win, but I'd be curious about the dog. I'd be curious about that because I can crush a dog. Let's get back to the submitted questions here. All right, so these are some good ones. So this is. Did you guys see that Tatsuya Imai said that he wants to beat the Dodgers and not join them? Percentage chance we land there, and this is from Frank via email. And then for the Red Riders listening and watching, again, butchering the name, of course. This is the stud Japanese pitcher who's probably the number one guy that's posted this year of this crop of Japanese players coming over to the big leagues. Right-handed pitcher. Bones, what do you got for us here? Percentage chance.
35%.
Oh, that's a nice percentage.
I'm going to go higher. I'm going to say, man, that's really high. I give us a 50% chance. I'll give us a 50% chance.
Dude, those are both really nice. I mean, honestly, I think this city would be really pumped up if we got him.
It would be awesome. Yeah. I don't know why they wouldn't invest. This would be awesome because he's like some of these pitchers, man, even when if they're younger, they seem to pan out. The stuff's there. This guy, I think he's throwing 100 miles per hour. So it's like, it's not like they're going to bust, and it's going to look at Durant, you know? And like, I mean, this guy's a starter, whatever, but still like there's enthusiasm around guys who throw absolute gas.
And he's got surfer hair too.
Surfer hair, also name. And he doesn't want to be, he's obviously surfer haircut. He knows what a brand is. He wants to build his brand. Come to Philly. We got you.
Can I give you my conspiracy theory on this one?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, number one, this comment by him is awesome. Great PR. Whoever's in his corner, or if it's just him, naturally love it. But I got to think that his camp was feeling out the Dodgers and they weren't getting the interest that they thought they were going to get. And then he makes this comment, right? Because why would you make this comment?
Yeah. Unless he really wants to beat.
Right. Which is cool if that is the case.
Because I always said this, as obviously I'm not going to be I was no big time recruit for anything. Why do all these kids want to go and join these top schools? Say if they're from a hometown, why would you go join a Duke? Wouldn't you want to be the guy that says, "Oh, I'm going to take on Duke and beat them"?
Right.
That was always my process with that.
That makes sense, but with with other sports where you're around the best, it fuels getting better and stuff too. That would be the counter. You're practicing with the bets every day. You're not sitting taking practices off or carrying practices because you play with average players every day. You're walking in, you might not even be the best player in the gym that day.
Right. No, 100%. And then Jay in the chat saying that the Giants and the Mariners have to be the favorite. Look, let's be clear here. The Phillies offered Yamamoto $325 million. So we're real players. We put real money out there for these guys. Now, the thing that would be very interesting to me, there was a report on the Phillies, Japanese head of scouting, et cetera, that basically the pitch for the players out there is you can be the Japanese guy for the Phillies. We've never signed anyone, so you can be that guy. So that's the sell that we're pitching people on. Do you want to just be, Yamamoto, Sasaki, Ohtani Jr., or do you want to be the dog for the Phils? So I love that pitch.
No, that's a perfect pitch.
Yeah.
They have to realize where Philadelphia is at. It's definitely a little further. And they just got to realize how big and passionate of a city it is because, we have to maybe –
right.
And that's what's hard. You got to get them here and show them.
For sure. That's exciting, man. So I love those percentages you guys tossed around there. So let's kind of keep it moving to the next question. So what's going on here? There we go. So this is a really good question. This is from Ron via Twitter. Which Phillies prospect for you do you believe makes the biggest impact in 2026? Let's start with you on this one, Bones.
I think it's Justin Crawford, just because the amount of product or no amount of product we have got from the outfield, center field mainly, in the last couple of years from Johan Rojas and company. We got it from Bader last year towards the end of the year, but I think that will be the biggest impact because we already have a rotation that's very good.
Right.
How much of an impact will Painter really make that? Unless it's like in the playoffs and we really go over the top. You know what I mean?
I'm going to go the other way. If we end up making a big deal, I wouldn't be shocked if Crawford's included. There's something weird about all these young guys and how come we didn't see any of them last year come up at all. Because Bones, the problem that you bring up, we had last year. So I'm going to say, and here's going to be my dark horse. We're going to have to look up his poly market stuff, but we're going to go with Riconez because of one reason. I think his offensive production, his hitting is going to look a lot better than what Crawford's hitting is going to look like. Crawford's going to look the part. Riconez's batting card, the back of his baseball card batting numbers are going to look the part.
And so Jay in the chat agrees with you. And I would argue that the test that Riconez is going to have in front of him is an easier one than Crawford. And I say that because Rincon is probably going to get more favorable pitching matchups, given that he's probably viewed as a platoon, whereas Crawford's going to be like, hey, here's center field. Good luck, kid.
Yeah.
Right. And let me clarify what I meant earlier. When I say Crawford looks the part, you're going to see his athleticism on display, right? He's fast, like you said. That's going to be noticeable. But at the end of the day, for platoon reasons, whatever, better bat, whatever. I think Riconez is going to be the more productive offensive player this year.
That would be exciting. All right, boys, let's go to the next giveaway here, guys.
Oh,
we have I think 3 more, right?
Yeah, we got 2 so far.
2 so far. So let's do the Phillies Hall of Famer. Very excited to say that. Dick Allen pennant here.
There we go.
That's a nice one. A shout out to the Phillies Hall of Famer. And by the way, the Red Corner, we have some strengths, but one of our biggest weaknesses, we talk about this, we suck about promoting our content. So go check out one of our early things where we kind of gave our case for Dick Allen to the Hall of Fame before he made the Hall of Fame. Slim, take it away.
All right. The winner of the Dick Allen pennant is Alexis Sally. Alexis Sally. I believe that's another Instagram one, Devo.
Okay, congratulations, Alexis. We will reach out and we'll get that shipped over to you. All right, we got 2 more very good giveaways here. I'm staring at them. So those are goodies. All right, so what's up next here? This is from one of our Stronger Red Riders, Chris N. I like this question. He is very thoughtful. He said, would you give Bader 3 years if that meant him not going to the Mets? Bones.
Simple answer, no.
Okay.
I would say no, I would not give him 3 years if it meant him not going to the Mets. I'm intrigued by Bader, but at this point, I'd really rather have Remuto.
Got Bones.
But this is interesting given that they just traded Nimmo. I didn't even think about that.
Right.
So I wonder if there's like something out there where he could be heading back there. And that's where Chris got this from.
Yeah, and the other thing is, like, I don't think you can factor in your strategy about what a rival signs too much. You can't, like, that has to be something considered. But a guy like Bader, I don't think you stretch yourself too much because of that, right? But I will say, Chris made a very compelling case. He sent a lineup that I thought was pretty cool. So he said you bring back Bader, and you have this is the top 4. Bader at leadoff, Schwarber 2, Harper 3, Turner 4. So you got a little bit more protection for Harper. I was like, that's pretty good. Obviously, if we get Bader of last year. So
Turner at 4?
Turner at 4.
See, I wouldn't be able to do that. He doesn't hit 20 homers.
He has 20 homer power.
Yeah, but not recently.
Yeah. But
yeah, I think you're trying to fit it. I think it's trying to fit it. I'm with Adam.
yeah, I thought it was interesting.
Moving Turner off the leadoff spots, interesting in and of itself.
All right, let's keep it moving to the next question here, boys. So we have, I think we got 1 or 2 left. So we got to spread this out. So chat, if you guys have any questions, here we go. So Chris is actually in the chat right now, and he says they asked him to hit more singles and not hit for power, which is true. They asked him to score 100 runs, right? And what was it, 100 runs? And I can't remember.
Yeah, and he's coming off his best season offensively too. So I mean, you're going to be asking him to do something completely new again. Again, I think you're trying to fit a round peg into a square hole.
The biggest issue with that is extending a 3-year deal off of half of a year that was basically his best year of a guy who's been in the league for a while, right? It's not like he's a 3-year player. So that's the issue with that. But I loved them in the clubhouse, and the Phillies loved them. You could tell they loved them.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
He brought a spark to here that they
He
didn't
did.
have.
What were we going to say, Slim? I'm sorry.
He really didn't have a home though. He played a decent amount of game for the Mets, a decent amount of game for another club that's escaping me. But for the most part, he was bouncing around. He didn't have consistent playing time. And it seems like now he's wherever he goes next, he's looking hopefully to keep that consistent playing time. And I think that's honestly what most of these guys are looking for. If they can get it, they probably all will argue they can produce. It's kind of like the Marsh situation we have now.
Right.
Because why couldn't Marsh theoretically do exactly what Bader does?
This guy's been bouncing around. This is his 6th team in less than 10 years.
Have you seen those splits when Marsh gets on his runs and they show his age? Because Marsh is still young, Sometimes his splits, they compare him to Victorino with some of the stuff, and it's like, oh, I didn't realize it looked like that. I don't know how it looks like that. Something must be different. But
I only have one stat, and then for baseball, I almost never think about the game like this. But the one stat that drives me crazy is his postseason performance. And what that tells you is he's very easy to game plan for, right? So he's like 1 for whatever every single postseason.
Right.
He can't get a hit. So that just shows that the top of the top players and the top of the top teams can always get him out. And we don't want that guy on our team. At least not right now.
Sounds like a lot of the Phillies. That's why they suck.
We got a nice question here from Shane just popped up in the chat. What about Garcia platooning with Marsh? What do you think?
Well, I think Garcia is cooked. I think he's cooked. I don't want him. But to the people who may want him, there's a point because a couple things. He has the pop, right? Or probably bang 20 homers. And then secondly, he's a change of culture clubhouse guy. Like he's going to go in there. He's going to have a flair to his game. And, flair to his personality. He's been there before. He's won just as much as anyone else in that locker room has outside of maybe Kyle Schwarber. So I don't like it because I don't think he's any good anymore. But 3 years ago, 2 years ago, maybe even, I would have bought in. And I'm happy because I saw his last 2 years, and it's no good. And you're seeing right now, Texas is getting rid of everybody.
Yeah. So
I would bring him in. I mean, it's not a bit. I think it's a great idea. He played less games last year, probably the least amount that he's played in the last couple. It's usually close to 165, hasn't or 162, hasn't
Right.
played like a full season, but he gets there. I think he only played 135 games this past year
Mhm.
and had 19 homers and 75 RBIs. So he can drive the ball in with his pop. So I'd be for it.
I Here's an interesting question. How many Phillies positions in the outfield do you think will be platoons on opening day? Platoons on opening day.
2.
Two. So you're saying two. So basically both left and right. So you don't think we're going to get everyday outfielder in the offseason? And you're considering Crawford in center?
Yeah.
Okay. Where are you at on that, Slim?
And
Man,
it sucks.
Yeah.
it would be. I kind of do like the outfield if we get Bader and then have the two younger guys. But
Mhm.
unless we sign Bader, I think we're going to be platooning all three, right?
I don't think
Like,
they're going to platoon all three. They're not going to platoon Crawford. I don't think.
I think it's more. I just think it's higher percentage that we're platooning 2 rather than 1.
I think that's a safe bet. Yeah. I think that would be the Vegas favorite. So Jerry just came off the top ropes and said, well, what has Schwarber done in the playoffs? And that was in response to Marsh. I think he's a Marsh guy. Listen, Jerry, recency, you got a good point because Kyle did not have a good playoff. But it's tough, man.
I think this is response to the Bader one, right? You said 1 for
No, that was
his latest whatever.
Marsh.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
well, he was on the squad that won the championship. I mean, he's had playoff runs.
Yeah.
And he had a home run this past postseason too, right?
Yeah, he had the big game where he hit I think he had 2 homers. They had that absolute bomb off of Yamamoto.
Yeah.
Right.
One of the
Get that
longest
bomb off
homers.
Yamamoto.
Yeah. But yeah, no, Jerry, listen, not the strongest postseason, but overall, he's a winner. He's only not going to the playoffs once in his career, Jerry. And then Jerry followed up here with, I think signing Bader would be a mistake. He's a career 247 hitter. Like Bones said, 6 teams, 10 years, not a great track record. I hear you there, Jerry.
But hey, put him in center field. He can play it every day. We saw his defense was stellar.
Yep.
The vibes were immaculate. So bring him back.
And Jay thinks Garcia is cooked. You should platoon him with Marsh. Be interesting. Yeah.
Is this your burner account, Chris?
Yeah.
No, I'm
Guys throwing
Jay's
stuff
burner?
out there. Yeah.
Well, I'm kind of out on like I said, Adonis Garcia because I remember being in on him. Like, oh, it might have been when we first started this podcast because I remember last offseason looking at the Rangers salary. I was like, a couple of these guys got to get moved. And Garcia being one of them. And then this year he just didn't live up to what I thought he was going to be. So yeah, I kind of don't want to be in on him and then him stink.
So speaking of this podcast, gentlemen, if you are still with us, please hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. You know it helps. We are on the journey to 1,500 subscribers. This time last year, Thanksgiving last year, we were just getting started. And we're narrowing down, looking at 1,500 subscribers. So please hit that button. It helps. Guys, I have 2 quick little, and chat, chime in, please. 2 quick little questions for you. Andrew Painter. Over under 15 starts, 2026. Let's start there.
Over.
Slim?
Under.
Okay. I like this. Taiwan Walker. Over under 10 starts, 2026. Bones.
Under. I think he's getting traded.
Okay.
10.
10.
Over.
Okay, so you think he's going to be – so, I mean, if you look at his first half last year, I think we're going to be hanging on to that. I would guess our strategy would be like, look, he fell off a cliff last year, which he really did, right? He was good. He was like a 3.5 ERA guy for like a couple months. But, yeah, so then we have Jerry in the chat saying he won't be on the opening day roster. Well, listen, we didn't think he was going to be on the team last year, boys, and he had quite the role with the Phils.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so the last question in the chat, and then we'll get to and chat here. If you have any other questions, let us know because we have 2 more giveaways. But here it goes. So our former pitcher, Cole Hamels, does he have the best chance at the Hall of Fame out of every pitcher on the current ballot? That's from Ben Instagram. Want to take it one away here, Slim?
When you compare side by side the longevity, the careers, Cole Hamels has a ton of great numbers, but I think the best chance at the Hall of Fame of every pitcher on the current ballot, I still think Felix Hernandez is a better pick than a Cole Hamels.
Right.
Cole Hamels doesn't have the Cy Youngs. Cole Hamels is like the threshold of what is or isn't an ace. Felix Hernandez at his top was an ace. He was the ace. So
King Felix.
Yeah, that's where I stand with that question.
I have to say, and sorry, Ben, I don't know who you are, but this is a ballot, not a ballet. Just want to point that out to you. And yeah, I'm a Cole Hamels believer. I think it's Cole Hamels that has the better chance of getting into the Hall of Fame. I don't think either of them will, though. That the other one Chris mentioned, King Felix.
If on the deep Twitter webs, if Hamels ends up sneaking in, does that mean Aaron Nola's going to be able to sneak in?
No.
No, I don't think so.
It's what they call the slope. It's what they call the slope. That's why you got to be very prestigious and pristine with who you allow into the Hall.
Right. Yeah, I don't think Cole Hamels is going to be a Hall of Famer. I would not, even as 3 diehard Phillies fans, I respect the Hall, and I don't want I would, even with my bias, I would not vote for him for the Hall of Fame. I don't think he's a Hall of Famer.
No.
Yeah. He's like a really good, 2 pitcher, right? And I don't necessarily think that's a Hall of Famer.
And like I said before, he had like 40 starts or something where his team got less than 2 runs.
Right. All right, so we got another giveaway here, and this is a fun one. This is for any, you got kids, or maybe you're just a merch junkie. We got the Bryce Harper City Connect jersey with the Fanatic headband. They call this little thing called a Lil Guy. These are the Lil Guy.
Looks like the old wrestler things.
It does.
All right, the winner is Evan Madhan.
Okay, Evan. Yeah, we know him. He's a good guy. He's a Red Rider. So shout out to you, sir. Evan. You have won this. We will get that shipped over to you, brother.
Cheers, cheers, cheers.
We ain't shipping it to North Carolina. When you come up from there, we'll give it to you.
Yeah, we're not paying that freight. Chat. So we have one more giveaway, and it's my personal favorite. Now, someone else might like the other giveaways that we've done. But let's see if you got any more questions for us as we round out the show here. Any live chat questions, any free agency, trade rumors? What do you got for us? Any thoughts that you boys want to bring up here?
Oh, and that stat I threw out about Hamels, that was his team got 2 runs or less when he gave up like 2 earned runs, or they scored 2 runs or less, and when he gave up 2 earned runs or less.
Right. This is a juicy question. So Tim with another good question. Thanks, Tim. I think Tim's a new guy as well. So welcome to the chat, brother.
Tim's not new. He's the 999 guy.
Oh, is he? Okay,
Yeah.
cool. All right, well, then
One of them, anyway.
Shouldn't be surprised by his question then. So now that Pete Rose has been officially unbanned, if ever, and how long does it take for him to get into the MLB Hall of Fame?
So, Bones, you probably know more about the how that would go. He would have to go in through some kind of senior committee. I would assume he exhausted all his ballot options.
So I don't know how it will work because he wasn't on the ballot.
It would have to be Manfred. All right. Well, then Manfred would have to decide to put him put him back on the ballot and have people vote, or to has anyone ever been just put into the Hall of Fame?
No,
That's not going to happen.
I have a little bit of color for this. So basically,
Okay.
he was on the ineligible list, which means he was. So it wasn't that people didn't vote for him; they could not vote for him.
Yeah.
So now, to your point, Slim, you were getting somewhere with that. The time that has elapsed, I believe, is a factor. But
Okay.
there are these lists, i.e., Dick Allen, Don Mattingly right now is going up for that as well. So there are these legacy lists. So I personally think he is going to get in eventually. I think he's going to get in on one of those lists. I think what's going to happen is, as we've all seen, gambling is becoming more and more normalized in culture and sports. And I think what they're realizing is he did not use any performance-enhancing drugs. And we have people in the MLB Hall of Fame right now that did. And we have people that use hard lines to not vote for people, i.e. Man Ram, A-Rod, etc. Guys that will never get in, Barry Bonds. But a guy like Pete Rose, who's the all-time hit king, all he did was bet on the game, which obviously is not right. So I think eventually he'll get in. I don't know when, maybe in like 15 years.
Yeah,
I think. Go ahead, Chris.
I think he will get in under Manfred's reign. You know, I think it will be a Manfred, something that he oversees.
I think that first year where he's on that Veterans Committee list, I think he gets in. First year on that list.
So you do. Okay.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be so sure of that. But
I was always a believer once he died, he would get removed from that list and he would get in the Hall of Fame, and that's the track it's going.
And the truth be told, even though gambling's more normalized now with the apps and all, the pendulum goes back and forth pretty quick. Half the people in that room will probably be still
right.
Strongly against any of that.
Yeah, but like you said, Slim, make no mistake, Manfred's a very powerful man, and he's been politicking very hard these past 5 years, and he's made a lot of things come to life that we've never thought would in baseball. And him removing him from the ineligible list, why would he do that, right? So he personally, I don't believe, likes Pete Rose, but I think he respects what he did for the game. And Jerry confirms that he was never on a ballot. Yep, that's true because he was ineligible. So a couple other good questions here. Let's do this, and then we'll do the final giveaway. We're going long today, boys. Hey, look, this is the Thanksgiving mailbag. We got to go long tonight, boys. So this is Jay in the chat. Does John Middleton open the checkbook even more, knowing his core is aging out, i.e., bringing in Bregman, re-signing Kyle, getting Bellinger, or we're just stuck in purgatory?
What I would like to see is, I don't think we're getting those three. So I think it's going to be purgatory light. If it gets juicy for me, the juiciness would be Kyle Schwarber doing the whole run it back and then getting the pitcher Imai. All right, looks like we're going to be losing Suarez. I would love to bring in Imai, and obviously that doesn't address any of the issues that we've seen in the postseason the last 4 years. At that point, I run it to the midseason, and then I make then I see what's happening. So that's my plan. I think that's purgatory for you, bud. Sorry.
What do you think, Bones?
Yeah, I agree with Chris. I don't think they're gonna do all that. Just you can't. I don't think you can because then you're stuck, and then once you're stuck, you're just what we went through last 10 years before 2022.
Get some.
And Schwarber, his last contract wasn't juicy enough for him. All right, he has this agent now. He wants. It seems like he wants a bottom line number. You know, he might not. He does to get him cheaper per year. You're going to have to spend long. You're going to have to give him more years. Do we want to be giving him more years, then bringing in Bregman? And then I know Bellinger's a little bit younger, but do we then want to be bringing in like a Bregman type? Man, I don't see it happening. Because then who's Bellinger's? Doesn't he have Boris too?
You know what? I don't know if he's a Boris guy as well. But I'll tell you what, Slim. Back to your point earlier, if the Phillies offseason was nothing else other than re-signing Realmuto, re-signing Schwarber, and getting Imai, the Japanese pitcher, that's a home run for me, man. I'll tell you that right now. We got an elite staff. We bring back a top 2 MVP guy. At that point, we only got to score like 4 runs a game because we're going to have easily the best pitching staff in baseball. Maybe not easily, but easily a top 3 pitching staff.
Yeah, but it doesn't address the approach, the offense, the disappearing like it has done. It doesn't address. Yeah, like I said, I don't know a single player who is a definite starter in the outfield at this point. We keep it. I don't.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Which is a great segue to that question about you don't know if a single starter in the outfield. So Shane asked, are we starting the season with a lot of questions unanswered? Going to be tough if we have to wait until the trade deadline.
It's really seeming that way. But I just think they're waiting for this one domino to fall in Schwarber, and then they're just going to attack the trade market before the deadline. Like this all season, they'll do that, and reshape the team that way.
Combining the last question with this question, if it's not Bellinger and if it's Bader, if it's Schwarber, Bader, how do we feel about that as a compromise off season?
So hit me with that one more time. I heard Bellinger and Bader.
All right, so I'm not sure if I want to include Realmuto, Bader, Schwarber, and the pitcher, but let's say we only get these 2 guys, Schwarber and Bader. And Bader's going to be playing, he'll get 3 years, let's say, and it's center field, So we got center field locked down.
But we didn't get Realmuto.
We didn't get Realmuto.
I want Realmuto over Bader, man. I need my catcher. I need him.
Same.
Yeah.
What if it's those 3 for the offseason?
Bader, Realmuto, Schwarber. I mean, that's run it back, baby.
That smells like purgatory again.
Speaking of run it back, Jay must be he must be in the know here because he said, "How is it a homer?" That's Slim saying run it back, and we were calling him crazy just a month ago.
Right. I'm not going to talk. I'm not explaining anymore because Slim's right.
Jerry with a nice comment here. I still think they need Suarez because I don't think Wheeler will be pitching until at least late June. Jerry, how many years would you give Suarez, though, man? I mean, the guy hasn't pitched over, 150 innings in a year, something like that. So he's not durable. I don't want to hitch my wagon to him too much. I love the guy. How many years? Let's play this exercise because, and just for the record, guys, listeners, watchers, all the top journalists and insiders have said the Phillies are not expected to put a bidding war out for Suarez. But let's put that to the side. How many years would you personally give Suarez? Bones.
4.
Okay.
I would give Suarez. I would give him 6 years.
Damn. Okay. So I think that gets it done then.
Yeah, I would be willing to give him 6 years. If I was Dombrowski and it was I was willing to push this towards the 360 million payroll, because that's what happens to all the Red Riders. It seems like we get capped out money wise, right? It seems like we don't have enough money for all these guys. The way to maybe stretch it a little thinner is like, well, it's been the theme of the episode, more years, which is the opposite of what we want with these old heads.
Right. And Jerry said 3 years. Yeah, Bones, I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, so Jerry said 3 years as a follow-up. I don't see any scenario necessarily where that number exists. I think it's either 1 or like 4 or 5.
Because it's the first time he's ever getting paid.
Right. Exactly.
So, right.
Yeah, and I was going off of the ESPN thing where like they gave predictions for, and when I seen that number they were throwing out, and I brung it up on here, and it was 4 years, 92. I said, sign me up right now for it, because that would be a steal.
Baseball's a crazy sport when you look at the starting pitchers' innings pitch, and when you look at all the platooning, especially in the outfield, because all these agents, they have to be saying, if my guy played every day, like all these numbers are doubled. So what the hell are we talking about? You guys just aren't playing my guy, you know? Like how many times is that something like that is happening in these conversations? Because it's every single player in the MLB is facing this situation. It's where very few are given long-term opportunities to prove anything.
Well, that's where come spring training when they go to these arbitration hearings, and that's when it gets hairy. Like if they don't accept the deal and they go to this hearing, like the management team's like throwing all that stuff out there. Like you're saying that, and they're throwing out there, well, we got records when you do play every day, you suck, and that's why you are platooning.
Right.
And they said, and that's where they get as blunt as possible.
And then it gets into the mindset that Topper has in the dugout, to where we heard it with Kepler. Well, it doesn't matter that you're not playing every day. You're a pro. When we put you in, you better be prepared as if you've been playing every day. So, yeah.
I think what we're going to see is an evolution of the big leagues. And I think Sasaki was a little bit of a peek into that, because what's going to happen is players that are looking at, agents and managers that are looking at these stud relievers, right? And they're saying, look how important these arms are in the playoffs. Look how they're pitching the most meaningful innings, but you're not willing to extend them contracts that, are like the starters are. If I'm a guy like Sasaki, and obviously he's a starter, but was used as like a Swiss Army knife in the playoffs, why would you not want to have a guy like that for the entire year? So I think that colleges, high schools, and stuff like that, start watching that. Why would you not want to have a stud guy who you can use in, picking his spots throughout the year, and in the playoffs, you have an ace-type stuff, but put him out there in the playoffs. I would love to see the league go that way. I know it's all going to come down to this, though. That's why Hoffman wanted to be a starter, because he wanted the starter money.
Yeah. No, I think we better start being quiet, because I think we're on to something, boys.
Hold on here. We got someone coming after Slim's jugular. Yo, Chris, no. This is Thanksgiving week, brother. Hold on. I love how Slim just throws out Rangers injury history, but includes it on everyone else.
Whose injury history have I been beating a dead horse on? Or anyone's?
Let's think.
With Ranger, the reason I'm giving him 6 years is because of that versatility, like Devo was talking about. I'm willing to. All right, they're talking about Luzardo. This must be the Luzardo Love Club.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the lover boys are out for Luzardo. All right. Hey, I'm with you. I hear you. I hear you. I think Suarez is. I like Suarez more. He's won me over more. I've seen him come out of the bullpen and handle it to where that's the flexibility that Luzardo doesn't have. So that 6 years is me knowing, he has to get paid. It's not going to be a short-term contract because he's never been in the free agent market. To get it for less per year, you extend it to 6 years, and you're happy with it because he's a guy you can put in the bullpen in the playoffs or these other situations. Always be a fifth starter if worst case scenario. Luzardo, we'll see what happens with Luzardo. He's going to be fun.
And Mike said in the chat, he goes 6 years for Ranger. Yep.
Yeah, Michael, did you miss so the question was that we all know Rangers not coming back, right? But if one of the red corner dudes, me, Devo, or Bones had a pick, what would we do? And then we had to give a number. So if I was running the joint, I actually would give him 6 years if I had to sign him.
Yeah, I think Michael was just more so saying that that's what he's seeing out there, and he agrees. I don't know if he's necessarily saying he would do that. And Mike, if you want to follow up and comment, so you would give Ranger a 6-year deal, because I personally would not.
Well, if I was running the Phillies and I wanted to bring him back, that's the deal I'm giving him. That's the deal that gets it done. We keep talking. That's why we're in negotiations with Schwarber now, and he has us in a wedgie because we're not willing to make hard lines. So whatever let's say we were kind of saying that Rangers numbers are around Schwarber's numbers. So would you go 6 years? 180 million? What would that be? 27 million a year?
That would be 30 million a year.
30 million a year?
Yeah.
I would do that.
I would not do that. If I was Ranger, I would say, where do I sign?
Yeah. Talking about wedgies, Phillies being a wedgie with Nola 5 years left on his deal and Suarez with a whole 6 years on his deal.
If I could do 6 years between 20, or bring it down maybe 27 then, whatever that saves you.
I don't like the term.
Saves you 8.
I don't like the 6 years.
Well, then there's. I don't think he's going to for 4 or 5 years. That might not be enough for him.
Wait, by the way, I don't think we're re-signing Ranger
because you don't want to give him $30 million. No. Yeah, but
I don't want to give him. It's not that I don't. I'll give him $30 million for 2 years, but Ranger's going to give me
right. He's not going to want 2 years.
Correct.
He's not going to want 2 years, and for 2 years, he's going to want $36 million each year,
which is the $1 million point of if, like I said earlier, and Jerry said 3 years. By the way, Jerry, I would love 3 years with Ranger. I just don't. I think Scott Boras is going to do Scott Boras things. He's going to be pumping his chest. He's going to be doing those little rhymes and riddles, and he's going to be saying that, yeah, this guy's the lowest ERA in postseason history. Give him what we ask.
Christopher, Michael, Timms, and Jerry, would you rather do 180 million? Let's call it $165 million for 6 years, or $70 million for 2 years, or 3 years, or $100 million for 3 years?
$100 million for 3 years. I would do that. Yeah, I would do that.
100 million. Let's make it one. Yeah, 100 million. 100 million is too short. Let's do 6 years at 165 million, right? And then let's do 3 years at 120 million.
So $40 million a year for 3 years. That's a lot. I don't think the Phillies would extend that. Yeah, I mean $40 million. I mean Wheeler's making 42 for 1 year right now. I mean, excuse me, for 2 more years.
His last year.
Right. So,
my point being, if
he has 2 more years. Wheeler has 2 more.
You're going to have to, if you're people who want to sign him for 3 years, you're daydreaming, unless you're willing to really give him a ton of cash.
I agree with you. And quick thing here is, he commented, Boras won 6 years for Ranger. He is a health risk for me. Yeah, that's the biggest thing. It's the durability. It's the health. We all love the guy. Boys, should we do the final giveaway? And this is a goodie. We got the Red October hat. It's a adjustable hat, so it doesn't matter how big or small your head is. And we got the Fanatic. This is a nice hat. That's a sharp hat.
It is.
Who's the final winner?
The final winner is Priscilla McLaughlin.
Congratulations, Priscilla McLaughlin. You've won this hat. We will send that over to you.
That is a sick hat.
It is. Congratulations. All right, so we are closing in on the 90-minute mark here, boys. So chat, maybe we'll do a little speed round, some final things here. So Jay is saying the Phils aren't putting that money into the rotation this offseason. Well, if we're a bidder for Tatsuya Imai, the Japanese pitcher, that's a lot of money we're going to be putting out there. That guy's probably going to be getting $25-30 million a year. You would think, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So
Yeah, Jay's saying he's not buying that it's going to be happening. I'm
Right.
assuming. I hope it's not true, because at this point we're banking on Andrew Painter. I mean, I don't think our starting pitcher is even close to the depth that we had last year going into this year because of the Suarez stuff.
All right, I have like 2 more over-unders that I wanted to do for you guys this year, this episode. Zach Wheeler, 22 starts, over or under?
Over.
Okay.
Under. Back
Under.
to what Jerry's point was, I don't think he's going to be back. I think he'll be back around July-ish, maybe All-Star break.
So how many starts you think he's going to give us? Around 15?
Yeah.
20? That sucks. So that means we got to find 15 starts, right?
Yeah.
They said he's on track. This isn't like he blew out an arm or anything. I think he should be fine. It's a scary topic to touch on, but I think he should be fine.
But we don't know if he does come back early, how he's going to respond to. Like, this is something you're not going to know, like, how you're going to feel until you start throwing that ball.
Sure.
The arm isn't supposed to move the way it does for a pitcher. It's not built for that.
Yeah, but once
It's built for softball.
But once
so these guys doing that, it's.
Yeah, I wonder why he got the blood clots or whatever, but once they're unclotted, I feel like he should be good to go. It's what they call it's a spew thing, man. It's a short procedure.
All right, my final question. Who will lead the Phillies in home runs in 2026?
Kyle Schwarber.
Kyle Schwarber. Don't even make me think anything else.
So that's obviously contingent on us re-signing him, but regardless of that, if he did, he'd be the favorite, obviously. So just wanted to see if you guys thought maybe.
And if he's not on the Phillies, Bryce Harper will not lead the team in home runs.
It's Otto Kemp season then, baby.
Yeah, exactly. So Mike in the chat saying that Kyle Tucker will be leading the Phillies in homers this year. I would be happy as ever. So the thing that I was talking about earlier, and we were talking about this before, we talk about the Phillies way too much, boys. The Ketel Marte, the thing I love about him is the best teams are teams where you go into the year and there's 4 to 5 guys that could be your best player that year, right? So if we brought in Marte next year, what are the 4 guys? Trey Turner, Bryce Harper, Kyle Schwarber, Ketel Marte. If any 4 of those guys were our best player next year, no one would be shocked.
And if going to the Bader signing point that I think Red Rider Chris made, imagine the lineup was Turner, Schwarber, Harper, Marte.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
It'd be awesome.
Yeah. And then we'll close with this because Jerry makes a nice point on Strasburg. It took Strasburg 1.5 years to come back from the same surgery. Yeah, that's the saving grace here because Painter gave us a lot of innings last year. Remember, he was going through the Arizona Fall League last year when we just started the podcast. We were talking about that, right? Like, basically nobody was hitting the guy. So that's why we were so surprised because he looked like a stud in the Arizona Fall League, and then he looked like a single A player in AAA. I mean, in minor leagues this year.
Yep.
I made every excuse for him in the book. I'm still here. He has the stuff, so he should be great.
Closing thoughts. What do you got for me, Bones?
Closing thoughts. I'm going to be reporting live from Orlando next week for the GM meetings.
Yeah, baby. Nice.
So, check. I'll send updates to these guys, and I'll see if I can get any intel what's going to happen with Kyle Schwarber.
Yeah, we got to get you a meeting with Dombrowski.
Closing thoughts for me, honestly, let's talk about Andrew Painter a little bit because around this time last year, me, Devo, Bones, we were doing the card circuit, meeting Red Riders going out, and I was looking to make my first splash investment in a card. And it was really, I was ready to drop $200 to $300 on a high caliber Andrew Painter card. And the market was hot and high. I haven't done my due diligence. I want to look into it again. But at this point right now, if you could get like a nice red chrome Andrew Painter card for $250, would you even buy it? And when you ask yourself that question, then why wouldn't you, if you wouldn't buy that card, right? Because basically you only buy the card if you think he's going to be close to a Hall of Fame or something very, very good, multiple perennial all-star type guy. If you want to buy that card, I think you should include him in the package for Marte.
Interesting. So you're comparing the card values to the trade values. I like that. There's definitely some rationale there.
Yeah.
So when we were last, we need a card bro to come forward, tell us about some cards that we should invest in. Because Slim and I, we go to these card shows and we're the biggest nitwits there. We don't know anything about cards.
We got the Pokemon guys running laps around us.
Yeah, the Pokemon guys are slinging cards all day.
They're cold. They're cold.
Yeah. And the last one, the Aiden Miller cards were hot, right? Everyone was talking about the Aiden Miller cards. So card bro, someone slide in our DMs. Let us know a card we should invest in. All right, so let's close on this. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone. Happy Thanksgiving to all the Red Riders. Enjoy the time with your families. If you are still here, hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button. You know it helps. Go Phils. We will see you soon. And everyone be safe.